By now, we're all familiar with the Ben Simmons saga in Philadelphia. I already did a video detailing how the Embiid-Simmons pairing doesn't work, and his absence seemed to signal the worst-case scenario for the 76ers. But do these Sixers really need Ben Simmons? Is there already someone on their roster that not only has more offensive skills, but is simply a better fit than the tough Australian? Well, it certainly looks that way, and if that's the case, Daryl Morey can let Simmons languish off the court while they rack up wins on it. Ben Simmons unquestionably brings a lot to the table offensively, particularly in transition as a locomotive train that defenses can't stop getting to the rim with powerful right-handed finishes, and his terrific vision and willingness to pass to cutting teammates for easy shots. However, his complete lack of a jump shot causes issues with the offense itself, particularly in the playoffs, and his poor free throw shooting tends to lead him to hide out in the dunker spot quite often in the half court, reducing a dynamic player that Philly wants to rely on into a version of a power forward from the early 90s. And that's where Tyrese Maxey comes in. The second-year point guard out of Kentucky has taken this opportunity by the horns and is quickly making us all forget that Simmons is even absent. Before you get up in arms and point to their overall record, Embiid has been quarantined the past 4 games, all single-digit losses. But before that, they were a sparkling 8-2 with Maxey in the starting lineup. Against Milwaukee, without Embiid, Maxey filled up the box score and almost lifted his team to a victory. So let's start with the biggest deficiency in Simmons' game, the three-point shot. Maxey is above 40% in the season and quite honestly should be shooting twice as many. It wouldn't be hard to imagine Embiid handing off to Maxey out top and clearing out space for easy shots on the wing. And he's found success running the floor to the corners and exploiting the defense's transition position to calmly hit this shot. Embiid gets his share of offensive rebounds, and one thing Simmons cannot offer is the quick spot up for the best three-point shot in basketball. But it's not just the simple catch and shoot shots he's hitting from behind the arc. His skills are already immense off the bounce. It's clear the Sixers are looking for someone to be the man in this possession, as the defense has contained everything. It's not a coincidence they turn to Maxey with under 5 seconds on the shot clock, and check how he utilizes the right foot tap and crouch to lure the defender in the air, and then the nice one-dribble pull-up with his man flying by, dropping it clean through the hoop. How about this move at the end of the first half? With time winding down, he hits George Hill with the dribble jab step back to his left, the hip and elbow already naturally aligned to the hoop, and just the idea that he'd shoot this compared to Simmons' lack of a perimeter game opens up new worlds for the Sixers' offense. In open space after a swing, he forces Ojale to retreat on his heels before stepping back behind the line and splashing another triple. One way for Maxey to increase his attempts is to stop sharing the ball so much, and I love how he takes control by calling for the ball screen, finding open space, and hopping into this shot to force the defense to deal with him. Another thing I love about him is how he's not intimidated. Giannis picks him up on the switch, and while he initially turns down the isolation, since he recognizes a more profound mismatch down low, when nothing materializes there, you can see the reliance the offense has on him to create something. And the delay crossover dribble gets him right by Giannis, and check the touch on this soft runner off the glass. His footwork skills are really high, and I like how he's under control, hesitates by changing the cadence of his steps with a quicker right-left, and calmly flips this floater up and into the basket. Joel Embiid is about to get back in the lineup, and you're going to want to see the Sixers in person, as I can almost guarantee they'll get back to their winning ways. And the best way to do that is by using SeatGeek, the absolute best app to buy tickets to any sporting event, concert, or the theater. They find tickets from all over the web and grade the prices to let you know you're getting the best deal. We're 2 weeks into the NBA season already, and there are some fabulous deals out there. So fire up the SeatGeek app, get to a game, and enjoy the Maxey-Embiid pairing that will stretch the defense out across the floor. Even better, nudge the guy next to you and tell him you saved $20 off your first purchase when you used my code BBALL. So get in the game with SeatGeek. And you can see that it's not just that Maxey can make tough runners over taller defenders. Because he's smaller than Simmons, he might not shoot his higher percentage, but the pressure he puts on the defense forces the switch, and it leaves Andre Drummond down low against George Hill to get this putback. He's great at change of pace to keep the defense off balance when getting downhill off the pick and roll. His jump shot will force a lot of switches, and he's been able to take advantage with his speed, then use his body to protect the ball and allow him to get these shots off. Another key skill that Simmons doesn't have is the floater, something every point guard in the NBA must be good at with so many pick and rolls being run. This is one reason Ben Simmons was so inefficient in the pick and roll as a scorer, since he simply doesn't have 2 of the 3 possible shots you can get out of it. But Maxey sure does, preferring to shoot these runners off the left foot, which provides him some extra space on the drift through the air. However, the level of difficulty on some of these is quite high, and the results speak for themselves, be it straight in the hoop or banking them softly off the glass. There's also been a re-emergence of the mid-range game, and it just makes Maxey that much harder to guard. The clock was running down and there wasn't much choice but to pull up for the quick release fade, and that's a clean swish. And if the defense does a good job containing him off the ball screen, check the footwork here. The slam on the brakes with the right foot, but then a sidestep right-left, which requires in-air turn to get the alignment over the big, and all that aggressiveness opens up a tip for Drummond. This could easily be Embiid several times a game. And for those who want to argue that Simmons is one of those unstoppable forces in transition that overcomes his issues in the half court, Tyrese Maxey is showing some of that same ability on the fast break, as he tortured the Bucks defense time and again with strong drives to the front of the rim and creative finishes through contact. This is no fluke, sports fans. Maxey has the speed and finishing prowess to be one of the best fast break guards in the NBA. On the defensive side of the ball, he is certainly no Ben Simmons. He simply doesn't make the volume of plays on this end of the floor that Simmons does, but he is getting better and better at being in the right position on the weak side, as he reads the weak side cut perfectly to deflect the pass into a turnover. And any issues he might have aren't from lack of energy. He chases around the screen and smartly pursues into the passing lane for the pick and pop, igniting another fast break. He's getting more aggressive with his defense as he freelances the double team once the post player turns his back and digs the ball out. And his active hands get a fair share of deflections that trigger more fast breaks. I like how hard he gives out on defense, which can do a lot to overcome any actions where he's late reacting. And if there's a loose ball near him, he's going after it strong to recover it, also because he knows he can get rewarded in the open court with an easy bucket. Of course, ball watching is a thing for most young players, but just look at his burst to recover to contest, overcoming the open shot he gave up. He screws up the switch on this pick and roll, and yet look at the energy Maxey expends to recover and properly contest the shooter in the air to force another miss. This looks to be a part of the game he actually likes. He's a pest on defense, very active hands, and is in that stage of his career where he just won't get any calls made in his favor. But once Embiid comes back, and throw one of the top defenders in the league in Matisse Thybulle on the floor as well, I don't think defense will be a huge concern for the Sixers. And this all points to a team that could conceivably be better with Simmons sitting on the sidelines than on the floor. All because Tyrese Maxey has developed quicker than most people could ever have imagined.